In you the people have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You the people have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world.
If you can keep it, the responsibility of a country is not in the hands of a privileged few. We are strong and we are free from tyranny as long as each one of us remembers his or her duty as a citizen.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chadman and Randy Show. Randy's not in the studio right now. He's out taking care of some business, but I got a special guest here today. Before I introduce them, I want to give some big thanks out real quick. So this past week, a lot of you guys on social media who follow the show and who talk to me and deal with me would be a good word on social media, is you saw what happened here at Chewy's, at Bar and Grill on Rosedale Highway. In short, a veteran was kind of disrespected, a little bit miscommunication. Like I said in the video I posted, I don't know too much about the entire biker Sons of Anarchy Association thing. I don't know how to wear cuts or anything like that. But I do know that if you kick a veteran out of an establishment, chances are you're going to have a problem for whatever reason. So we handled it, and through social media, my buddy Chris Quinones and myself, fellow paratrooper, we handled it, and we got the situation kind of smoothed over, and Chewy's reacted to what we did, and that just goes to show the power of social media. What actually I wanted to get to is social media bringing people together. And how many of you out there didn't have a Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or anything like that, and then you got one, you built it, and now you're in touch with people that you went to high school with or that you know from back in the day? Well, that's what I'm doing right now in studio, sitting with a very beautiful couple, the greatest American couple I know, really, to tell you the truth. I went to high school with Miss Christy Orlando, formerly Miss Christy Orlando, and now Miss Christy McCall. Is it Christy McCall, Orlando?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay.
Sir. Christy McCall.
Christy McCall now, and we linked up, went to high school together, like a lot of you, linking up with people you went to school with. And through her, I met her husband. So this is my first day actually meeting you in person, TJ McCall, owner of McCall Fitness. I just want to say, man, it's an honor to meet you in person. I know I said that obviously before we recorded, but formally on the podcast, man.
It's a pleasure to meet you too. I come across your posts often, and I've told Christy from day one, not even meeting you, that we cut from the same cloth for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, like minds think alike, man, and that's what's good. And one thing that's cool is that we've met through social media. We didn't meet at a gathering or at someone's house or a wedding or something. We met through simply scrolling through our phones, going on our computers, and taking advantage of social media. Networking, man. And that's what I think is so powerful in this day and age, and helping spread just whatever someone's into, whether it's a business, whether it's some kind of movement or a podcast, whatever it may be. So, man, thank you for coming on. Thank you for driving out from Avila Beach. I really appreciate it, you guys. I know
it. Thank you.
Driving from out there to here, I know you guys got family here, but I mean, I would never.
No, it's always good coming back home, and anything we can do to support you and spread the word for ourselves as well. We love coming back home. Bakersfield's a good place.
I always tell Chrissy it's awesome seeing familiar faces, because we go there and we go to the gym, we hit the grocery store, just do the normal daily stuff, but it's like you really don't run into people. And when we first left, we're like, thank God we don't have to just run into people and get stuck talking, but you miss that. And it's nice coming home and seeing someone in the grocery store that you haven't seen in a minute and being able to catch up. So Bakersfield, it's definitely a very unique place, and I miss it. I miss the dynamic of the people here and the mentality, because a lot of these other cities, it's crazy, man. They just...
There's no connection. It's like people are just going about their business,
exactly.
like worker bees almost. But and they're nice places.
Yes.
My family lives in Huntington Beach and down in Temecula and then down south. So I know exactly what you're saying. That's the whole reason I moved back here. Is I was living in Alaska. I was stationed.
Boom.
My last duty station was Alaska. It's God's country.
Right.
I mean, I've been a lot of places, and Alaska is by far the most beautiful place I've ever been.
Sure.
We only moved back here because of what you just said, is because we missed seeing people at the grocery store, being able to what are we doing today? Let's go visit grandma. Let's go to my mom's.
Right.
Simple
have
stuff like that.
Barbecues and absolutely.
But on that same token, it is nice to be away.
Most definitely. And be able
to,
get some fresh every once in a while.
Right.
It's good to be back home. Bakersfield is home. There's something about it that's nice. There are days where we get tired of it and we're just like, let's go. But I love it, man. So anyways, let's talk real quick about McCall Fitness. And, you're from Bakersfield. You guys currently staying in Avila Beach, and that's where you're operating the whole company from, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
How did you get started in that? How did you get started in fitness? Were you always an athlete, always kind of?
I started working out at a young age. I was always kind of super skinny. I couldn't even make weight for Jack Frost, so I started getting into the supplement industry probably around the age of 13, and just trying to pack on weight, and I'd fill my damn jock strap up with nuts and bolts just so I can make weight, because in Jack Frost football you have to be at least 105 pounds.
I know.
So I was always cutting it short. I was about 101, 102, so I tried to put a couple extra pounds in that jock strap, and I got on the field a couple times, but that's where I started getting my experience with supplements, and just took it in through high school. Always lifted. I played football. I played catcher. And then from there, after high school, I did a short stint at BC and played football. Ended up breaking my foot. And during the healing process, still going to BC, I was at BC cafeteria and saw that the Sheriff's Department, Kerr County Sheriff's Department, was lifting a hiring freeze that they had in effect for about 10 years. And went through the hiring process, got picked up as a sheriff, did sheriff for 12 years. I also was a personal trainer through 24-Hour Fitness, which back in the day was called Family Fitness. Started gaining some experience there. And while working for the Sheriff's Department, they had caught wind that I did personal training, so I started teaching the academies. I did a little bit of that. Transferred over from Kern County Sheriff's Department to Paso Robles PD, and I was working there. And then in the process of working for Paso, I kind of upped my game in the fitness industry, and I started focusing on creating an all-in-one piece of fitness equipment, something that only would take up maybe 10 to 12 square feet of space, something that is plate loaded, just old school type lifting, no rubber band weights, something like that, although it does accommodate resistance band training. And I just created it, and it's everything that old school lifting applies to. And from there, I got into the supplement industry. And by the way, the equipment's called Core Bench, and I have several videos on my website to show that, but that'll be coming out hopefully this year. It takes money to make money, and we've really been investing our funds into the supplement side of it. And I did 7 years of research, 5 years on my own, and then 2 years with some biochemists in Valencia, California, and it was just for personal use. I started developing these supplements for personal use, and just because I wasn't getting what I wanted. I was going to supplement stores. I don't want to, name drop and badmouth any of these companies, but a lot of the supplements on the shelves are underdosed, and they do a thing called sprinkling, where they'll take a very good ingredient, they'll toss it in there, and they list it on the label. Well, I consider that just a waste of money. So I started spending more money in research to develop something that was all in one. And I had, I put together a day formula and a night formula, so my body was getting nutrition around the clock 24 hours a day. And I used that for a long time. And I, with my supplement use in the past, I was actually able to compare what I had created to what I was taking in the past, which was BS, and just really got this formula down tight to where I was getting the benefits. Well, like I'd mentioned a little bit ago, it was for no other intention except for personal use. Well, my wife, Christy, we got married, and I mean, she really wasn't into working out the way I was, but she did become interested, and she asked, why don't you make some of these same supplements, because they're gender specific. I had ingredients in there in the men's that boost testosterone levels. So I went through and then started researching a gender specific formula for women. started including things like biotin and collagen, just stuff that women are really looking for their hair, skin, and nails.
Lots of extra fat burners.
Yeah, a ton of fat burners. Well, Christy, through the process of about 6 months, she ended up losing close to 40 pounds. And it was pretty amazing. And then, yeah, and I mean, I'm not just going to sit here and say it was all the supplements, but we started eating right. We started focusing on that. We got in, and I put together a awesome workout routine for her. She really just started from ground zero, and then she came in and she started incorporating her own workouts. But she ended up losing the 40 pounds, and I was like, okay, we have something. Now what? I got to go through the FDA and all this approval and all this stuff, And it was
seriously,
that's got to be a nightmare dealing with the government.
It is, and like I mentioned, that my full attention was to get this equipment going because I'm medically retired now from being a police officer. After working for Paso, I was helping the California Highway Patrol clean up an accident on the 101 on a Saturday night, like 1:30 in the morning. Strobe lights going, and my partner had just came up to my patrol car and said, "Hey, we're getting ready to clear CHP." They were shorthanded, so they asked for our assistance. And I literally sat down in my car, put my seatbelt on, and I'm not even playing, 10 to 15 seconds. Thank God I put my seatbelt on because I'd have been smoked. Put my seatbelt on. My partner looks over the top of my car because I'm parked sideways on Highway 101, taking up both lanes of traffic so CHP can do their job and clean up the accident. Strobe lights going, expecting to, be seen. And he looks up over the top of my car and he says, "You're going to get hit." And he turns around and takes off running towards the middle of the freeway, the divider there, the island basically. And I look over, and it was literally, and it's crazy too because PTSD. I'm totally I'm totally a victim of that myself.
Right,
so and it's crazy because the movie Hangover, whenever they're sitting in the car and they're bitching back and forth with one another, and you see through the driver's side window the headlights of that black Escalade coming. Yeah. Dude, it gives me chills every time I see it because basically that's exactly what
It's almost like time stops, right?
Dude.
Yeah. Isn't that weird how that happened?
Most definitely.
I experienced that many times in combat, how it's like, and I don't know if it has to do with the adrenaline or maybe like that fight or flight kicks in.
It brings it all back.
Well, it's like that basic natural, I guess, that goes back centuries in our DNA, where it's like we're designed to just focus on what's at hand. It's really interesting, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've experienced it. I know. It's crazy, man.
But my vehicle was at a dead stop. I was in park, so there was like no reaction time for me to get that thing into gear and get out of the way. And she was traveling 70 miles an hour. Oh. There was no skid.
Oh.
Yeah, no tire marks whatsoever.
She planted her, driver's side headlight, center punch, passenger door, and I just turned my car around, too, because I was like, I need some cushion if I get popped.
Right.
So I put my passenger side towards oncoming traffic, and she buried her driver's side headlight, like I say, center punch on that passenger door, and she drove that door all the way into the center console, which a police unit's pretty stacked out with the gear. So I'd have to say that kind of may assisted the blow too, but luckily I was wearing my seatbelt because I my head was probably within 1 foot of her headlight once it made impact and brought that passenger door in towards the console. And my partner, he's at the middle island, and it was an older car, so when she struck the vehicle, it knocked all this dust loose inside the vehicle. So after I came to, because I had my window down speaking with him, so the impact made my body recoil, out the window, and I came back in, and that's what my partner said. He said he saw my head and shoulders both leave the vehicle and then come back in. Well, he thought that someone was trying to kill a cop.
Oh.
So I wake up after being knocked out to him taking cover behind my car with his gun out.
Yeah, I mean, that's an initial reaction.
Absolutely, because it was just like strobe lights go on 1:30 in the morning, pitch black out. You got to see these strobes within like a mile, and there was no skid, so he thought for sure
somebody did it on purpose.
Yeah, they were trying to smoke me. So I wake up to him at gunpoint. Now I'm kind of tripping, but I'm in the car. They had to cut me out. And bottom line, through the course of working for Paso, I knew I wanted to get in, do something I was passionate about, which was fitness. Had no idea it was going to be the supplement industry, and was creating my supplements right around the time of my accident. Thank God, and I believe everything happens for a reason, because not only did my supplements help me recover faster, because I actually had them at the right dose, I was really getting a benefit from them. I had a doctor that I was assigned to after my accident that was actually going through a hip surgery, and he's in his mid-60s. And he asked how I was keeping myself in such good shape for being in physical therapy for 2 years, not really training hard, not pushing myself.
Right.
And he was very interested. So I made my supplements for him, and it's plain chemist. I'm just a redneck dude. I don't have a biochemist degree, nothing like that. But it's easy to do research through Google. So I basically took all the ingredients from the supplements that I was taking at the time, and I just kind of walked through every single ingredient and picked out the ones that really, truly mattered. Then I found out what's the maximum dosage that people can take at a safe level, and then just kind of, adjusted the levels from there. But came up with my product. It's called Liquid Youth, and I basically named it Liquid Youth for the pure fact that I can meet a larger demographic of people. I'm a fitness competitor too. I do physique competitions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that.
But at the same time, not everybody is trying to build that type of muscle or be in that type of shape.
Right.
There's some people that are more worried about blood pressure, cholesterol, just living longer for their kids,
Just feeling good in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And
just the sleep side of it.
Exactly.
Sleep is insane.
I just turned 41. And I got a lot of buddies I went to high school with, that they're actually dealing with health issues now, and I got them on it. And what's cool too is we just opened an Amazon store for Liquid Youth, and you spell it because the amino acid chart usually have L-arginine, L-glutamine, because the L side of the amino acid chart is where we get a lot of our amino acids from. So Liquid Youth is spelled L-IQUID, and then just the word youth, YOUTH, and that'll take people to the Amazon store. But we have a lot of customers here in Bakersfield that have used it, and they're absolutely loving it. So, if they're listening to this, I could really use your positive review if you go to Amazon and then type in Liquid Youth and make sure you put that hyphen after the L, because it's all review based through Amazon,
Right, we're learning that too.
Yeah, and star quality. So
if not, you're at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I've got my supplements into they're called Kennedy Fitness. It's a chain of gyms on the Central Coast, and this stuff is flying off the shelves. I have people where I work out, they come up to me and they say, I can't pinpoint what's in this that's making me feel so good, but it's a combination because we have a day formula and a night formula, so you get nutrition 24 hours around the clock. And people come up and they say, thank you for creating this. And like I say, once I knew I was feeling the way I was and I saw Christy's transition, I knew we had something special.
And that's all that matters when you see positive results. Man, I don't even know where to start to hit on that. Amazing,
I know,
dude.
I just went off.
No, man, you're speaking my language,
I'm very
dude.
passionate. Yeah, I'm very passionate, so it's just like it flies out.
I'm glad we linked up, brother.
Absolutely, man.
But so let's go back to the PTSD thing. A lot of guys with PTSD, that I obviously from my area of expertise in the military, they begin to get lethargic over time, and they begin they get out the military, and it's you get used to not waking up at 5 and running 4 or 5 miles. You just get comfortable, and that's where I found myself. And I just recently, about a month and a half ago, started going back. I'm actually got a personal trainer that I'm working with here in town, and just getting back in shape. And
by the way, before we forget too, I've got a box of supplements for you today.
Get out of here!
No,
absolutely.
Man,
they're in the car. I dropped the ball and didn't bring them in.
Oh man!
Yeah,
all right, well, thank you very much, man. Dude, that's awesome. For me, man, it's going back to, you spent 14 years in the military, and your lifestyle is a certain way, and you're going, and I'm a small guy. I'm a little dude. When I was doing my thing, I was a firecracker. I was a little hard charger, man, and it felt good to be so strong in such a small body because everyone around me was bigger. I was keeping up, and I felt like I could just take over the world.
Absolutely.
You get out of that, get back into the real world,
culture.
And it's like now you're dealing with the fact that, I had to get medically retired. What am I going to do? It's that lethargic feeling that will bring a lot of veterans down and a lot of police officers. Since I've been out, man, I've run in. It's so weird that I've ran into you and we met is because I've met a lot of guys in fitness, veterans and police officers who have gotten into fitness. One of my good buddies is a fellow veteran, Casey Mitchell, that one-legged monster. He competes and he does like powerlifting and stuff.
Yes.
And he's here local?
Yeah, he's from Bakersfield.
Okay.
Yeah. He was sponsored by Blackstone. I think recently he went somewhere else. But I met him. I met my buddy Chris Quinones. I think you might know him. Mm-hmm. We were actually in the same unit at different times, so we linked up. My best friend Brent Warren, he's training. Fitness in general is one area that I've linked up with guys, and seeing guys like you and hearing your story is just very inspirational, man. Because to come back from something like that. I can
2 years of physical therapy, and I went from like the top condition, where I was at the time of my life.
It's devastating.
Down to nothing, and then you got to change everything. I had to go through and completely revamp my workouts, and I didn't start doing bench until about 8 months ago because my shoulder's bone on bone. And I didn't go in for the surgery, but I've got the neck, the back, all of it. But you got to just find your way around it, man. You got to keep going. So the accident was in December of 2010, and like I say, I just got my body back to a place where I could actually do like free weight bench press. I still can't do free weight squats. I have to do it on the Smith machine, which is totally isolated and guided by poles. Yeah. But, dude, you just got to keep going. And I totally feel you because you have so much energy and you're such a good place when you're doing what you love.
Oh, yeah.
And then to have it kind of taken away from you for a minute, that's where you got to dig deep and really try to, like, find the positive blessing out of it. And that's kind of where I feel like I'm at now is because, I fell at work. My career got cut short. But, dude, that's when you got to just figure it out and make stuff happen.
And I think that's why...
Sorry to cut you off, too, man.
No, man. You're in my universe right now, and that's what we do here, man. We talk. It don't matter one bit, brother. That's so inspirational to me because of the mere fact that I can relate to that 150%. And I think it's finding your passion. See, I didn't know what I was going to do, man. I got out the Army, and I was like... so confused, and I knew that all eyes were going to be on me. My parents were going to be on me, my in-laws, because I had the baby coming, and everyone, my grandfathers, my uncles, men who I idolized growing up were asking me like, "When are you getting back to work? What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Fuck, man!" Like, my entire life was shut down because I had planned, and so it's hard. Like you just said, you get passion. So there's a passion that you had when you were in law enforcement, when you played football, when you were training guys. There's this passion that you get and that never leaves you, and you can apply it to something else. You're doing it towards your supplement company, towards your goals, and I'm doing it towards this, silly little podcast, which in 5 years I'm gonna see go as far as I can take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing silly about it.
And I say that because like it's just my way of selling it. But
hey, I believe you, man. I mean, literally, my equipment, that I developed at one time was literally pencil.
Yeah,
sketch on paper, which I have it listed on my website. Yeah. Like it kind of gives you the breakdown. It's like,
I've seen it. Yeah,
it was stupid. Like you try to like take one step in front of the other, one foot in front of the other to reach your goal, and it's like it seems so far fetched. Like right now, you're saying silly, but I totally see the potential in this because of just the type of person you are, the things you've seen. Yeah, it's awesome to be here today and meet you. So it's going to grow. You've got that.
I look at your story and I hear you say, I didn't even know that the accident part. So to hear that and see how you bounce back, and that's what propelled you. Because I think it's something. It's funny because it was your accident and it was my medical discharge that put us on our paths. And I think that's why you said we're cut from the same cloth. And there's so many guys right now listening and gals out there who are in the same boat, who probably want to take that next step in life, and the world can start bringing you down. It's so easy to scroll through your phone and see nothing but bad news, or turn the TV on.
Yeah, and talk about social media. Yeah. It can be either extremely positive or it can really bring you down, but it's also about your mindset. Mm-hmm. It's like if your mind is prepared to propel forward, you'll kind of gravitate to those things and move yourself forward and like grab the good and get that information that you want to step forward. And like, honestly, if this stuff was easy, if podcasts were easy, if developing supplements or whatever the case may be, just
everybody be doing it.
And that's the most cliche thing to say. Of course, everybody would be doing it, but it's true. It's really true. You just have to take the leap. You have to jump, and that's exactly what you've done, and you know exactly what TJ and myself have done. And it's tough, but the rewards are there, and every single day it's totally a struggle, and you want to, it's crazy what you go through, but it's all worth it because you're doing it. Not only you're helping people, you're getting to know people. And it, in the end, that's the most rewarding thing for yourself, 100%. Yeah.
Well, and it's like you and I, we've dealt with physical issues that had us come up short on the path that we were wanting to take. It's unbelievable the amount of people that they don't necessarily buy my supplements, but they do have questions because they know I'm in the industry, and it's like more than half of the things that I get behind the scenes and try to help people with are things that have happened to them mentally. Right. Mental setbacks. Ours is a different game, but still people can kind of fall short mentally too.
I think mentally can be worse sometimes. Definitely. I think mentally because, see, when you're living inside your own thoughts and you can't motivate yourself to get outside your own thoughts, the entire world seems like a prison. That's a hard one to get through. Let's talk real quick about your competing, man. I want to get into that because that was, 4 months ago?
I turned 40 and had my supplements down to where I felt like they were the bomb, man. Right. Like they were really working for me. And I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to try to, step out on stage. It wasn't anything that I really wanted to do. I had thoughts about it before my accident, but then after the accident, I was like, okay, I'm done. I won't be able to like lift the way I need to lift to step up on that stage. But I hit 40, got the supplements where they needed to be. All the levels were perfect. And I really started seeing good benefits. And it was crazy, dude, because the muscle density that it built, it just makes them harder, and it makes them just like fire quicker. It feels like, to where it's constantly keeping your metabolism at a 10. You're constantly burning. So I was like, okay, well, it's going to be easy to do this now because just the cardio aspect of it, I really can't run the way I used to because of my back. Right. So, and here's a little tip for everybody. If you do cardio and you keep it at about 30 to 45 minutes and you keep your heart rate in between 130 and 150, that's like the perfect target zone to burn fat. I'm like, I try to go 100 miles an hour with whatever I do in the gym. So, I would always try to get on the treadmill and just run miles, thinking that was it. Well, you start doing too much of that, it's going to start breaking your muscle down. So my one of the companies that I deal with, one of the owners, he used to be a professional bodybuilder, and he's the one that actually introduced me to Lou Ferrigno, who I'm become pretty tight with. But these guys are like, no, you're working too hard. And everybody, a lot of people that have kind of let themselves go, they think, oh, my, road is going to be so difficult. It's going to be so painful. But literally, no joke, I put the treadmill on probably about 8.0 incline and maybe 3.8 to 4.0 on the speed, and just a fast-paced walk uphill. And that really just started trimming things down too. So, my cardio before competition was fairly easy, and I didn't have to put myself through a bunch of hell, especially with my back the way it is. But yeah, decided to do it. Stepped up there for the first time. I think it was back in August, right, babe?
Yes.
It was August. And it was a Tahoe show. And sole purpose was to, basically bring some awareness to my supplements and my business.
And fill out the industry a little bit, because we don't have really professional coaches pushing us around or anything. We wanted to see what it would be like just us going in there as a brand new company. And
so we set up a booth. We had a booth, and Christy worked that while I was in the back trying to learn what foods to eat just before the show. And it was a learning experience for me, but bottom line, got up there, did it, took second place.
Wow.
The guy that I lost to, well, and the guy that I lost to was phenomenal. Right. Like, this dude was way legit. His back was a freak in nature. It was unreal.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures, man. I was showing my wife. We were checking out the pictures.
Yeah,
it's like, how do people look like this?
I know,
and they're everywhere. It's insane.
And
it's like the Justice League, or like it's like the superheroes.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, yeah, and it was wild because I had him beat in some areas and he had me beat, but his back was phenomenal. Anyways, he's a former Marine and just a great dude. We
all them pull-ups.
Hey, I guess that's what it was. It was silly, but we've reconnected several times, and he takes my supplements now too. Great dude. But then the most recent show, which you were talking about, was November,
right?
And that was in Palm Springs. It was a Ferrigno Legacy. This is his second show. The first one was in Santa Barbara, and I went, and be honest, I felt like I should have taken first. Pictures don't lie.
Right.
I don't know what happened between, registration and stepping on that stage, but whatever happened. But I ended up taking second again, which my whole goal was to get there and take first because, I grew up loving The Incredible Hulk.
Oh,
That's no lie. I didn't give.
That's the coolest thing ever, man.
I didn't give a shit about Superman, Batman,
no, it's all
Spider-Man.
about. I'm a Marvel guy, dude. I got you.
All day, this dude. Which he's taking my supplements. Ferrigno's taking my supplements too.
Wow, that's awesome.
So I'm stoked about it.
Incredible.
Yeah. Ba-boom.
So I went and did his show and fell short again. Took second. I really wanted to get that one spot because I wanted, back in the day you got a little plastic Ferrigno. This one was green chrome.
Yeah.
It was gnarly. It was sick, man. And I had that thing as a screensaver on my phone, and I just, the entire time that I made the decision to go to that show, I had it screensavered, and I would work out and look at it. But hey, I enjoy it. Like I say, I just hit 41. I'm in the best shape of my life right now, better than, in my 20s, and just learned a lot, and people hit me up behind the scenes, and I give them tips. It's all about learning.
Everything is.
To act like everything in the fitness industry is crazy. Like, you can literally tweak your diet just a little bit, or just walk on a treadmill, or do whatever, and it's going to help you get there faster. And if you're taking the proper supplements, Liquid Youth. If you're taking the proper supplement, something that's all in one, something that you don't have to really go buy anything else. And at the time, I was spending probably $300 to $350 to have an all-in-one supplement system,
like multivitamins, the aminos, all that.
Sleep aid to get your sleep right is
the
major.
Recovery,
when your sleep is right, it helps everything fall in place. If your sleep's good, your energy during the day is going to be better.
Right.
You sleep good, your body's going to heal up faster. Because while we're sleeping, if you hit that deep sleep, that's when your pituitary gland up in your brain starts producing growth hormone. So that was kind of one of the things, because, a lot of supplements are one-dimensional. It's to burn fat, it's energy, it's amino, it's, the amino acid blend. But that was it, something all in one. So the day formula works very similar to a pre-workout, minus the beta-alanine and the niacin, which causes that tingly feeling, can cause jitters.
Yeah, that hand.
Do you take one right now?
Yeah, so I was, but now I'm just doing multivitamin. Okay. But I know exactly what you're talking about. That whole tingly feeling you get in your hands, and
it puts me in a panic when that happens.
Yeah,
well, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like that feeling.
No.
I never was into it. So and the reason that those products exist and why they go on pre-workouts to actually kind of help drive blood, so you get that good pump. Pump goes away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So I eliminated those, and there's a new ingredient called nitrosogen, and nitrosogen is basically like a very good, super high-intense arginine, which arginine goes into the body and it opens up and dilates your circulatory system, dilates the veins and blood vessels, so nutrient can be delivered through your body more efficiently.
Right.
Not only the nutrients, but the good foods you eat, and and oxygen. Oxygen is huge to repair the body, and it also helps with like joint pain and arthritis and stuff like that. Like, these are all like second, third, and fourth type benefits that a lot of my customers to this point are receiving. I knew how to like develop the supplement, but I deal with my odds and end pains, from my accident. But, for instance, Christy's dad deals with a great deal of arthritis, and when he goes to bed at night, he can't sleep. So the melatonin in our night formula helps him fall into that deep REM sleep. The other ingredients, while he's there, they start traveling throughout his body to help reduce the pain so he can actually get a good night's rest. But what I was saying is how I really got down and developed this was the day formula, like I said, works, like a pre-workout, opens up the bloodway, and then there's glutamine, a number of other things help the recovery. But the day and the night, they kind of work hand in hand together to go in and start stripping down all that excess waste that we hold on the intestinal lining.
Right.
Because, you take supplements and you got dirty guts, it's going right out you.
That's something that...
You're, and then
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and then you have scientists and things going, but the body can't get that high absorption. You're going to be pissing or shitting most of it out anyways. Well, here's the thing. The thing that a lot of these supplement companies don't do, they don't target that. They don't go in there and start working down like Liquid Plumber to go in and start stripping down this intestinal lining. Because once you get the exposure of your intestinal lining, now your body's absorption is that much better.
It's that much better, exactly. And
you know what I'm saying?
So
we got 60 to 80% of absorption that occurs in your intestines, and if they're dirty, you're not getting it. So we go in, day and night formulas, sold together, by the way. They're sold together in one unit. They go in, Liquid Plumber, remove all that waste. Now your body's getting a much higher absorption, and then you have the dilation of the circulatory system, veins, blood vessels, the rest of it, to where all these good ingredients that are going into your body are now being able to get pumped efficiently deep in your muscle tissue, into your skin. And that was, it's called Liquid Youth. I built it for myself, being a fitness competitor, trying to do the whole muscle thing. But then I got the wife involved. Started looking at ingredients for, skincare, biotin, collagen, transresveratrol, which is extracted from grape skins, and that's what kind of holds that tightness on a grape.
Right.
So we start putting that into our body. Now it's like all in one.
Seeing results.
Oh, dude, the recovery,
that's awesome.
the muscle density, the metabolism, the sleep, the energy during the day, and the day formula has 3 different types of caffeine. This is where my biochemist came into effect. I did the first 5 years of research. They did the last 2.
Right.
So now they step into play. I don't know crap about caffeine.
Yeah.
I know I like it.
Mountain Dew. That's about the extent of my knowledge.
Yeah. I know I like it, but these dudes in lab coats,
Red Bull.
The smart guys, they come in and they say, okay, this is what we're going to do. And they literally told me when I showed up there, this is the best formula that we've ever seen.
Nice.
And they asked me if I want to cut corners because it cost me a lot to have this made.
Right. I can imagine.
I didn't cut corners, so it cost me a lot to have this legitimately made. And that was one of the things I was going to say earlier. I was spending probably about $300 to $350 for an all-in-one system. Sat down with the biochemist. We found ways to cut this down, make it easy to use. It's all fruit-flavored ingredients, but we sell it for $129.99. So we're actually saving people money. People see the price and they go, "Oh my gosh!" But that's the thing about it. Like, if you're gonna do it, Let's do it because
get what you pay for.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you start spending money, $30 here, $40 here, and now you got like 7 or 8 different lids you got to remove and scoop of this and scoop of that. No, easy to use day formula, 1 scoop, 12 to 16 ounces of water, fruit flavored ingredients. Drink that shit down. 20 to 30 minutes before you put your head on the pillow, you take the night formula. And within 20, 30 minutes, dude, your eyelids feel like they have weights on them, and you're just ready to lay down. You sleep like a baby.
I'm excited for you to start taking it.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys see my post. Sleep to me, man, is
huge.
And we can go into that, but in short, man, I got a lot of nightmares that come and go. I got night terrors and stuff. My wife, she's been my punching bag, not literally, but just laying into it. And we had to get a California king. Let's just put it that way. So, because, she needs her space.
Sure.
That's like a damn island, brother.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah, it is. And
we got one ourselves.
But sleep does not come easy. For a while they had me on Ambien, which on the get-go, that was awesome because it was like, you take it, done. I'm so anti-pill right now that just because that's what the VA and that's what the military likes to do. That made me feel worse. Yeah, I got that sleep, but you don't get REM sleep with Ambien.
No.
It knocks you out, but you're comatose, sleep paralysis.
Absolutely. And it's addictive too, isn't it?
It's extremely addictive, and you get that sleep paralysis side effect, which is, I don't know if you've ever experienced that. But
no, I did.
That is
Christy, I would start
horrible,
freaking out at night.
It's horrible. Then I've gone the natural, California legal, THC marijuana phase, and that didn't, man, it is what it is. I mean, yeah, it has benefits, I guess, to some people.
I'm on the same prescription, buddy.
But yeah, you know what I mean? And I done the teas. As far as like a nightly thing, like feeling good every single night, like when I lay down, I know if I lay down to bed at, let's say, 10 o'clock, I'm not going to sleep until 1:32, man.
Oh, wow.
I'm the same person.
And that messes up my whole day because my day doesn't start because, I go to school full time on the GI Bill. I'm medically retired, so my day typically will start 7 hours later. So yeah, my sleep system right now, and I've done sleep studies, and they don't really work or tell you anything. I could definitely use something to help with that.
Yeah, those sleep studies aren't going to tell you anything if you don't have sleep apnea.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I always thought was so ridiculous.
Right.
The VA's, well, you need a sleep study. I don't have sleep apnea. Why?
Yeah.
And they hook you up, and it's just like, whatever, man.
Right.
Yeah,
this will really, I'm actually extremely excited for you to try this.
Yeah, so am I.
Sleep has been an issue for me for a really long time, and I was always taking sleeping pills or with a bottle of wine, whatever the case was. Just
2 bottles.
Knock yourself
2
out.
bottles.
Right. Well, who's counting? Let's not be judgy. And this stuff really was like heaven sent for me.
Well, I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
Oh, dude, I'm fired up, man.
I'm
and
stoked.
You wake up and you don't feel groggy. Like, you feel really good.
That's
for your
another
day.
thing. That's another thing. So I would
Huge.
take Ambien when I was on active. So my last year on active duty, I was in a medical warrior transition battalion.
Right.
And everybody was on something. I mean, I had 3 of my guys in my platoon were in that unit because they had gotten shot up pretty bad, and a lot of guys with other injuries. So everybody was on some kind of meds. Our duty day would start later, but we would go to formation, and everybody would be groggy because of all the meds they had us on.
Yeah.
At one time they had me on 8 pills just to make it through my day because, of course, they put you on one, and you got to take 2 other ones to counter those side effects that one gives you.
Yeah.
And finally, man, I went through my medicine cabinet, and your wife got mad because I flushed them, and she's talking about dolphins and seals, and that was probably a bad idea. She loves nature. But I got rid of them, and I started slowly but surely trying to eat right. And what I did is I cut alcohol off the picture.
Right.
For a lot of reasons. But ever since I've done that, I mean, you're sitting in my studio. I had the desire, the drive, the vision to do and build this show with Randy and to get my career going in podcasting because I cut alcohol out the picture.
Right.
I think a lot of people think that they can go work out 4 or 5 days a week and then go get shit-faced on the weekend and party. That doesn't work, man. You see a lot of that, and alcohol, I think, and it's cool in some, low effects, but to do that, man, is just to take it out of my life was just the most beautiful thing I could ever done.
Right. It was
I feel great. It was my obstacle. It's gone, and now I feel like I can start running again.
Good.
I'm out there going to the gym. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling like my old strong self, man.
Yeah.
I used to be able to sit down and just climb ropes with no feet, man, no hand, and just sit up there and hang with full gear on, full kit. I mean, I was that little Mighty Mouse, man.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it, and I want that back. I want that feeling back because I felt like I could take on the world, man.
We got you.
And,
we got
you will. You're on your way.
And it's been about a month that I've been kind of getting back in there and doing things, and it sucks, dude. Oh my God, it sucks.
The beginning is the hardest.
Oh yeah.
But you'll get over that hump, and then it's just gonna feel like it's just your habit, and it's normal, and you won't feel right not going, or
Well, muscle memory. We learned about it in the military, muscle memory, and just doing basic calisthenics and just getting out there. Yeah, it kind of hurt.
Flow.
I'll be 34 in May. This little guy, I put some pounding on my knees, man. I mean, jumping out of airplanes and running. And so when I started going again, it was like starting up that old car that's been under the tarp in the garage for a while. But now it's like I'm out there a couple days a week running and stuff, and I feel good, man. It feels so good. And I think that people need to start realizing that they'll feel so much better even if they just go for a walk at night.
Oh, sure.
I mean, just a simple walk at night.
Absolutely.
And then maybe, hey, after a month of that, why don't you try and run? Go run around your neighborhood and then just step it up. But you know how people are.
Stuck in the way.
Yeah. Well, it's tough. I've learned too. Just people got a lot going on with just daily grind, and it can be a setback. And it's not until you get into routine and repetition of doing something where then it becomes a habit. And that's kind of exactly where Christy got. And I kept telling her, get up over this hump, baby. And then once you get there, you're literally going to be upset if we miss a day. And sure as shit, you know.
She does.
I'll be like, I'm busy today, you know. And she's like,
bye.
But that's my wife, man. She's the same way. She's like, you know what? I'm just going to start running on my own. I'm like, all right, you know, okay.
Right.
Well, hey, it sounds like we might need to hook her up with the female box, too. I got them both. We give the male and female to each gender specific in case I didn't mention.
And that's what she does, man. She gets mad. We have a Doberman, and she's like, I'm just going to take the dog. And okay, see you later. So, man, I got to get into it. I have this weird ability to somehow link up and network with guys who are motivated and driven. And I say it a lot, man, and this is going to lead us into our next topic, the alpha male mentality. You know, a lot of people, they're so narrow-minded, they think alpha males are just, you know, big guys. Well, I'm a little dude, man, but I consider myself an alpha male. I love networking and being friends and talking to and socializing with fellow alpha males because being motivated and seeing stories like yours and other guys that I've come in contact to since being out, it motivates me, man. So thank you for coming on my show, dude, and telling me about your whole story and about what you're into. And before we end this episode, we'll give links to your website, to your Facebook page, and how people can get linked up with your products and everything. Now, speaking of alpha males, currently and let me know if you want to, let me know when to stop.
Okay.
But currently, we got a beta male in the White House. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because, you know, Christy and I have talked. She's a fellow Jazz McCall listener, and I know you're wearing this Trump 2016 shirt, so it's clear where you stand. This beta male in the White House has destroyed this country. Did you see what happened in Chicago last night at the riots at the Trump?
Definitely.
It was disgusting.
And all fingers want to get pointed at Trump, but we know the real source of that all comes from.
You know, dude, honestly, my whole thing is we need somebody in this country right now who's going to, and I haven't really picked a candidate here or there because I just want to make sure that when I do, man, it's the right guy. Now, I'm leaning towards one.
Yeah.
Right.
Clearly. But we need somebody who's going to get in there and put his foot down and say, look, man, this is the way things are going to go. Not somebody who's going to sit there and tiptoe and drop little hints. Because what I saw happen in Chicago.
Here's the game plan.
Yeah. Yeah, what I saw what happened in Chicago last night was a direct result of 8 years of where we've gone. And I think it's tragic, man. It's tragic because men have been dying for 14 years, and this is what we got to show for it. So, I mean, what's your opinion, man, on I know you got them. So.
And that's exactly what I told Christy last night watching that. You know, they want to sit there and point fingers at Trump, saying, you know, his verbiage, his tone, all this BS at his rallies ignited this. No. I forget the website, moveon.com.
Yeah, moveon.com.
.org. You know, they support Bernie Sanders, and you know, I don't want to get too nasty talking, but Obama stuff happens. There are a couple idiotic cops out there. I'm not saying I've worked with any of them, but some poor decision making on law enforcement. And then you have our president fly out to these people's funeral. And the thing about it was, and I'm not condoning any of it, but every single incident where someone was gunned down, regardless of black or white, because there was that incident too where the white dude, him and his kid, were trying to run from the cops, and the little kid, his son, ended up getting shot and blasted.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that was by 2 black cops, but we didn't hear anything about that.
Nope.
And it's just, so Obama comes out and he starts badmouthing law enforcement instead of saying, you know, everybody, don't run from the cops. Act like somebody. Don't turn it into a situation where now you start running from the cops. They don't know if you're armed. And like I say, very poor decision making on some of these incidents involving these cops that shot. But at the same time, it was Obama's, him coming out with his rhetoric, talking about all the poor decision making on the cops instead of saying, "Hey, don't run from the cops. Let's not escalate the situation." But that's where he comes in and he starts becoming the divider. And he says something negative towards the cops instead of coming right down the middle and saying, this is where suspect messed up. This is where the cop messed up. Let's fix this. But he's just like anti-cop, which now these people march. They say, kill him, burn him.
Yeah. They were firing off Uzis last night.
Okay, I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll send you the link. I'll post it when we're out of here. There were Black Lives Matter people shooting Uzis off. And look, I'm with you. There's been poor decision-making in law enforcement, just like there's been poor decision-making in the military. Those Marines and soldiers that were pissing on the corpses of the Taliban.
Oh, right.
You don't think that when my soldier was killed, my brother was killed, that I wanted to go do something like that? But you got to conduct yourself
thing.
You know?
But it comes from both sides.
It does.
So with him only coming out and putting the heat on law enforcement, saying that it was a poor mistake on their end, I was a cop.
Yeah.
Dude, I had to go in and search buildings by myself. Didn't know what was in there, but there's an open door that's kicked in, and you trip out. Like, your finger's on the trigger.
Oh, man.
You don't know what's hiding behind any corner. You don't know who's coming out. You don't know what they have. So for them to take off running, that's not a law-abiding demeanor.
You're trying to get away from the situation.
Trying to get away. And it's like, for whatever reason, you have dope on you or you got a gun, but you're trying to get away. So instantly the cop in his head is going, oh, shit, this is going down. Now his finger's on the trigger. And, poor decision-making, whatever. But instead of having a president come out and try to create peace and say, okay, don't run from the cops. Let's be law-abiding, and we're going to implement this type of training for law enforcement so this stuff doesn't happen again. He causes this divide.
And his Attorney General, Eric Holder, was the one going out to these funerals and rallying these people, and just rallying these people up, and dividing. And if anybody's read Sun Tzu or anybody's read any kind of tactical manual, divide and conquer, man. Dividing, it's the most easiest way to take over any kind of corporation, business, war, enemy. You divide and you conquer. You weaken them, and then you implement your changes. And that's what's going on right now.
Well, and that's what I told Christy last night. I said, I hope Trump comes out. Like, this is his opportunity, because the media, he says it all the time, they suck, which they do, because every channel, they kind of have their own agenda, and they steer their viewers to have whatever belief they have. It's totally obvious. And we don't just get stuck on Fox. We honestly flip back and forth between CNN. I want to hear what they say. I want to hear how they cover their story. And it's shitty because, you have Trump, his initial statement when he came out and said he was running, he said, Mexico's sending over this type of person, and this type of person. Sure, there's some here that are great people, right, but these people are actually coming over here because Mexico, they don't want to pay to lock them up, so they make sure they get across the border. And then all of a sudden, the way CNN goes and twists the story, now they're only putting in the clip where Trump says Mexicans are rapists, and
it's taking the things out of context.
Yeah, and it's like that's what he's saying too, about whenever he can step in and be president, hopefully, that he's going to start bringing on laws onto the media now, to where they're going to be held accountable for putting out a BS story. And that's where it starts. Yeah, they're dividing us.
Oh, and people are falling for it, man.
Yes,
and that's what's
because
so frustrating.
Because they get stuck on one channel.
That's what's so frustrating.
I don't even think that they're necessarily watching the news. That's what I was explaining, or not explaining, just kind of voicing to TJ last night. I think a lot of these protesters and people that go out, they're not really as in tune or pay attention to the daily politics as much as us. They're just listening to maybe their friend or seeing a meme on Facebook or whatever the case may be, and that's their source of information, which is, so be it. But it's.
I follow this guy Mark Dice on social media and on YouTube. He went out to San Diego with a microphone and just started asking people basic questions. Who's the capital of the United States named after? People couldn't even answer it.
Sounds like Water's World.
So it's like that a little bit. But some people were like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't even care. Why does it matter?"
Right.
That's the state that we live in, and you're right. People get their news off of Facebook and off of social media and Twitter, and they're rappers, and they see Kanye West say something, or this, ridiculous celebrity come out and say something. That's another thing. These celebrities, man, they don't know how much power they have. They come out and they make a stupid comment, and now every jackass who sits and reads those magazines while they're getting their hair weaved, think or even for the guys that go to the gym and they're watching the TV, they don't know what they're looking at. They're more worried about going out and hooking up on the weekend, and they're really like, oh yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And it sucks, man, because we find ourselves as the type of people who actually care about where this country's going, and it sucks.
You have kids or a kid, and Christy and I, we're getting ready to bring him into this world, and
starting our business here.
That's why I've been. Sorry, babe. Go ahead.
It's we're very in tune with it, and
it
all matters. And just getting back a little bit, and I'm sorry to interrupt you a little bit, but
you're good.
Just like last night, there were, that was very unfortunate on so many different levels. Like, just for the fact that, sure, people can go protest, exercise your right to freedom of speech, 100%. But Trump has that right as well, and those people, 10,000 plus people were there to listen to him, and they're taking that away, and then from him to be able to speak
It's called peaceful protest.
And it wasn't peaceful.
It wasn't.
And they're pointing their finger at him, saying the media, everybody, his opponents, running against him.
Yeah, they want to make him look like
this
shit.
This is your fault, your fault, your fault. When
it's Obama's.
When in event, this is actually. I'm not saying that I agree with a lot of the way of his delivery and the things that Trump says. It is a little. It's kind of crazy to me a little bit. Well,
I love it.
But it makes my skin crawl sometimes. But Obama has had ample opportunity to nip some of this in the bud and really kind of tone this down over.
But he hasn't.
But he hasn't. He hasn't chosen to. So this is just a result of a lot of very angry people, and it's all getting out of control. And, it's coming to head right now.
We live in a world where everything's coming to head, and it sucks because we don't have a leader. That's what this country needs, is a leader.
Right.
You got to be careful with that because Hitler was a leader. Stalin was a leader. Mao was a leader. And it's very easy for somebody to step in with leadership qualities and go too far with it. I'm not saying Trump's like that at all. I think Trump definitely is a leader. My co-host Randy says all the time that Trump's got buildings with his name on it. Is he out there swinging hammers? Is he out there pouring concrete, welding, putting in walls, flooring? No. But he knows what it takes to get that building built. That's a very good metaphor. And ever since Randy said that, I'm like, I look at that and I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, that's what we need. Obama hasn't built shit.
Nothing.
That guy is not a leader. My posts have spoken for themselves, but he's a beta male, and he's responsible for where our country is. He's directly responsible to a lot of soldiers' death, plural, because of his policies, because he's not a leader. You need someone in there who's a leader. Let me ask you this. We have a woman running for president. I find it really kind of disrespectful to women that they think just because Hillary is a woman that she has to be elected just based on that. That's actually so condescending to women.
Yes.
That do you feel that way?
Absolutely. I think that is one of the most. It's so ridiculous, and that's actually so close-minded.
Exactly.
And that's all the feminists that are kind of closing it in that way, but that's the most non-feminist thing ever. Like, if you actually look at her values and her morals and what she's actually done.
Benghazi.
Track record.
We can't put that aside for one, but just on her values for women, she's done nothing but knock them down. Like the countries that she supports, the leaders that she supports, it's disgusting.
Well, they take the money she's taking all that campaign money and for the Clinton Foundation from Saudi Arabia, where women can't even fucking drive.
They can't even leave their house.
Yeah, we live in a world where it can only go so far and look, man, people are shooting guns at political rallies. That happened last night, and it only gets worse from there. And that's a scary thought. I've seen it in third world countries, man, and I don't want this country to go down that path. It's scary because like I said, I got 2 kids. You guys are thinking about bringing children into the world. A lot of our friends have kids. You have businesses. I'm doing this. Our lives are directly affected by this next election. This is probably one of the most important elections we've had in a long time.
Right.
Yeah, and the thing that too, during that last debate, Trump came right out. His knowledge of in-depth policy on this or that, he's not afraid to say, okay, I messed up and I need to go back and change something. That's what they were trying to get on him about. He said that if he put together an order for someone to go in and do something much worse than waterboarding, that they would do it, because he says, I actually respect that. Being a law enforcement, I looked for that type of leader that said, you know what, if I say something, it's going to get done. Like you say, pussyfoot around or whatever. But it's that type of demeanor that we need. We need someone that's going to call the shots, but at the same time, listen to the people that are around him. These generals that have been in the military 30 years plus, instead of let it go in one ear and out the other, like with our current administration. Trump's a listener, man. If he doesn't know something, he just like that next day it proves, he'll come back and fix it. It was within hours. It's not like a decision has to be made to where he's going to fall short in the end. He can catch up with it, learn it, and then fix it within hours.
And if you make a mistake, own up to it. See, that's the thing. Everyone harps on it because he filed for bankruptcy and this, that, and the other. You know what, though? He's never denied those things. He never. He's
not a liar.
He's not a liar. He's never denied, hey, look, I had a failed marriage. Hey, I did file for bankruptcy. Yeah, Trump University wasn't what it was caught up to be. You know what? It's okay to make mistakes. Since when is it not? Some of the greatest successful people in the world, in history, throughout history, have been has failed more times than they've succeeded.
Right.
So
most definitely, I try to do 3 or 4 businesses before this one.
Yeah, exactly.
You hit a wall, and it's like, yeah,
you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. And I'm not saying he's the perfect person. I'm not saying that any of these people are perfect. But what we definitely need, I think, right now, and I think we can all agree, is somebody with confidence, somebody, male or female, who's ready to be a leader and make the right decisions.
And even more than confidence, someone that is educated and smart enough to make these decisions and learn how to like take something and make it grow.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of these clowns, these politicians that are in there now, yeah, they can crack a book and they can probably read their ass off. You know, very intelligent, book smart people. Common sense out the window.
Out the window.
That's why Trump says common sense conservatism. He knows how to make shit happen. Like these people, they're afraid to make decisions. Plus, they're bought in. They're owned by the lobbyists, special interests. That's what started pushing me towards Trump right away.
Well, they've never had a job.
Exactly.
They've never had a real job. They've been career politicians.
Yes.
Like, dude, you've been there for 40 years.
They follow their daddy and their mommy's footsteps, and they try to remain their status in this elite part of our population. And it's just bullshit. You know, Mitt Romney, he's a clown.
Oh, my God, dude. Yeah.
Did you see Rubio's numbers since he thought he was going to take it upon himself? Like, he's the leader of the elites, and he's just going to come out and, like, basically try to put...
That was cute.
Yeah. Rubio's numbers fell.
I was like, look at that guy. Look at him trying to be tough. I laughed.
He's a sissy. And then on top of that,
cute.
now, and then just, yesterday, Rubio comes out and says, I need Kasich votes to vote for me in Florida so I can beat Trump out, and then we'll take our people and, have them vote for Kasich in Ohio just so we can take out Trump. What the hell is going on?
They're hedging.
Do you see the
votes here?
DNC? Do you see the DNC trying to like take down their front-runner? No, they're actually trying to like find ways to help lift her to the top. And then the RNC, God dang it, man! Their true colors are coming out. I've always walked that middle line.
They're scared. They're shaking in their boots right now.
I've always walked down the middle of the road, but I've leaned right, and it's just like the way their true colors are coming out. There's some corrupt shit going on behind the scenes. They want to maintain that power status, and they got a dude in there now that has his own bank account, his own money, his own ideas, and they cannot buy him. They cannot push him around.
And they don't like that. And
they don't.
And it shows how weak they are because they, when you got to go to Mitt fucking Romney, and sorry if you're listening to this because you follow TJ, because I cuss a lot. I'm a mouthy combat vet. But when they brought out Mitt Romney, and he said that about Trump, and then you rewind time 4 years ago when he was so happy because Trump endorsed him
all day.
It's like.
That's our typical politician community.
Yeah, now if that were to happen on the streets in the real world, people would be getting some fists in the face, man. Like, let's get down and dirty about the way the real world works.
Right.
That doesn't happen. To me, that is the lowest form of beta male
the whole system,
you can ever come across.
The whole system, the left, the right, it's all just bullshit at this point. It really is.
And all of these people in like the Fed, they're saying that if Trump gets elected, they're going to, quit. And it's like, well, of course, because he's going to call you out and figure all
and
this
you're
stuff
gone.
out.
Yeah, because all this scraping tax dollars off the top of all these different programs they have, and like it's
all
going to their bank account.
Pork bills. And,
it's going to be very interesting.
We're in for a ride.
We're in for a ride,
sure. And like I've been saying on all my shows, I think ever since buy your weapons, buy your ammo, and not so you can go out there and shoot up political rallies and act like morons. But you know what? Be ready to protect your family.
Yeah, because it's going down.
Because that's what it boils down to. We have walls on our houses for a reason, and you got to be able to. We have amendments, man. And when the First Amendment right is being—that's what you're seeing.
Right.
Is the First Amendment right being shut down at that Trump rally? That was a perfect
Unless
example.
Unless it's left, then they're crying about it. But they come out and they get physical and they try to
exactly. We can go on and on. We keep our episodes kind of short to about an hour, but we'll do this again.
We come back.
I definitely want to have you back, man.
Especially after Trump gets up in there in that White House.
Yeah.
You got his feet on the desk. We can come in and talk more about it.
I can't
because, everybody want to ask questions. Well, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? And how are you going to pay for this? Well, once we stop allowing everybody to burn us and walk on us like we're a bunch of fools,
exactly,
we'll take that money.
When has America been that, man? Like, when has America been pushed around like this?
I told Christy about 5-10 years down the road, we're going to be hearing some stuff about our current administration leader. I don't even like saying leader, but
Oh, I think it's sooner than that, man.
I think he was hand-selected many years ago to try to weasel his way up into the top to weaken our country. Well, he's done a fairly good job of it, but not
than just a legacy.
Yeah, not to the extent it could have been done in a year period. But he definitely weakened.
There's a conspiracy going around, and I'm kind of leaning towards it about him running for UN Secretary General. That I think would be kind of a serious thing to consider, because you put that guy in charge of the UN. Yeah, man, that could get. And I've been saying for years, man, that dude's the Antichrist, and people take that like
I fully agree.
People take as like I'm quoting the Bible. No, man, that guy is an Antichrist as a metaphor, meaning like that guy is going to destroy everything that we know and live by as an American citizen.
He's definitely
and we're seeing it happen.
Yeah,
and we've seen it, and we're continue to see it, and it seems to be the snowball is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right until he gets out. He's got to go.
Man. I've been saying it. Where can people go to McCall Fitness? What's the easiest way they can check it out?
Okay, the website is McCall Fitness, MCCALL. That's my last name. McCallFitness.com. We have a shop page you can buy from. If you just read about, and that's the thing too. We have a page on the website dedicated just to the ingredients, and it lists every single ingredient that's in our formula and what it does for your body. There's no other supplement company that does that. And if I didn't mention earlier, we have the highest ingredient levels on the market. There's almost 20,000 milligrams 20,000 milligrams in the day formula and 20,000 in the night formula. When on average, a lot of these supplements, they only carry anywhere from maybe 3,000 to maybe 7,000 or 8,000 on the high end. 20,000 in the day, 20,000 in the night. But yeah, it's so much information about the product itself and what it's going to do for you, and literally put heart, soul, blood, tears into this. It's really the best supplement that I've ever taken. I've been taking them, like I said earlier, since I was like 13 years old. Got tired of blowing my money at some of these stores, decided to create my own.
GNC.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Sorry,
it's just
man.
like, nah. It's just, gosh, man, the money that I blew, and it's just, I did the research, and it came out super clean. It tastes good, and literally, if you go to Amazon.com, like I say, type in Liquid Youth, L-IQUID, then Youth. It'll take you straight to my page. We've been getting 5-star reviews on there, and just read some of the reviews, because the supplement isn't one-dimensional to where it's just for energy or to burn fat. It's all in one. You're going to receive so many benefits, and even benefits that you didn't even know that you needed. But people come in and they've been laying down stuff about talking about the energy, the sleep, the weight loss. I have dudes that I'm keeping track of right now, and they've been in the they're losing 20 to 30 pounds.
And it also helps with ED as well.
Oh yeah.
Just
okay.
FYI.
Nice. There you go.
So we're maybe when we
that's
come
good
back,
for a lot of guys.
It helps
Yeah.
with and
It's
for
good
the
for
girls
guys and
too.
girls.
But when TJ comes back, we can get like an update on how it's helping you.
Yeah,
like
no,
your
that's what I was
journey
thinking.
forward.
Yeah, we'll push it out maybe like what did you say, a month, maybe a month or two.
Whenever.
We'll keep in contact, man. Are you also on Facebook on McCall Fitness?
Just go to TJ McCall.
Okay.
Big page on
I'm McCall Fitness too.
Okay, cool, man. And thank you guys for coming in. This has been
Absolutely.
awesome, man.
Rock.
I'm glad we linked up. It's awesome. I love it.
We'll be back.
Hey, check it out. Tickets are on sale at the Fox Theater for the April 2nd Edema show. The Aviators, Kings of Carnage, are all-military metal band. Art Machuca, Il Tiempo, and Edema. Tickets are on sale. $25 at the door. Be sure to check it out. We will be there streaming, and I'll be introducing Kings of Carnage. This is Chadman and Randy Show. Out.